New details emerge following the fatal crash that has claimed the life of Grammy-nominated R&B artist Angie Stone.
R&B soul singer Angie Stone has died following a car crash. She was on the way to Atlanta following a performance.
R&B singer Angie Stone has died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama Friday, was heading to Atlanta when the van she was riding in crashed.
Was Angie Stone's tragic passing really an accident? You might think you know the story, but what if there's more lurking beneath the surface? Jaguar Wright, the queen of spilling industry secrets, has just dropped a bombshell, one that could turn everything we thought we knew upside down. According to Jaguar, Angie's death wasn't just a car crash. No, there are whispers of something far more sinister, something involving powerful forces within the industry who allegedly silenced her for good. Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you view Angie's tragic end. Background on Angie. Stone. Angie Stone wasn't just a voice. She was a force in the music world, a beacon of talent that brought soul and depth to the neo-soul movement. Born on December 18, 1961, Angie was raised in a home where music was a language of its own. Her father, a member of a gospel quartet, played a pivotal role in nurturing Angie's love for singing. It wasn't long before her voice echoed in the halls of First Nazareth Baptist Church, where she spent hours honing her craft. But Angie's musical journey didn't stop with gospel. As she matured, so did her sound, expanding into the world of R&B and hip-hop, where she helped define the era. She collaborated with legends like Prince, Lenny Kravitz, and D'Angelo. Her unmistakable voice became the cornerstone of the neo-soul movement, inspiring the likes of Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, and countless others. Angie wasn't just an artist, she was an innovator. She made history with The Sequence, the first all-female hip-hop group, and created songs that defined the era. Tracks like Funk You Up weren't just hits. They were game changers, influencing artists from Dr. Dre to Mark Ronson. But for all of her contributions, she wasn't treated like the legend she truly was.
That one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
Angie's struggles. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, Angie faced a battle most of us will never understand. While the world adored her music, the people behind the scenes were taking more than their fair share. Take her time with D'Angelo, for example. Angie played a massive role in his rise, shaping his sound, co-writing hits, and even producing vocals on his iconic Brown Sugar and Voodoo albums. But instead of getting the recognition she deserved, D'Angelo downplayed her contributions, which ultimately drove a wedge between them. And it didn't stop there. Angie's frustrations were only amplified when she found out that Mary J. Blige, the queen of hip-hop soul herself, had taken one of the songs she had worked on with D'Angelo, Every Day and Die, and released it under a different name without giving Angie any credit.
As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that, to some degree, supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research. Just Stone the celebrity.
That wasn't the end of it. Angie was often compared to and even copied by artists like Jill Scott, who, according to Angie, mimicked her style down to the last detail. But the true betrayal came from those who were supposed to have her back, her management and label. Her management mishandled major opportunities, and Angie even lost out on a career-defining role that Jill Scott eventually snagged in #1 Ladies Detective Agency. Despite her hard work, the system failed her time and time again. The shocking claim by Jaguar Wright. But just when you think Angie had faced it all, the plot thickens. Enter Jaguar Wright, who claims that Angie wasn't just a victim of bad management and industry politics, she was silenced.
That I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to step up and go in and do everything that I needed to do for my family, which is why I worked so hard, which is why I traveled so much, which is why I did shows, because at the end of the day, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to.
Jaguar is now making explosive claims that Angie's death wasn't an accident, but that she was deliberately targeted by powerful figures within the industry. According to Jaguar, Angie had just gone public about her stolen royalties and was preparing to take legal action against Universal Music when she tragically passed away. But there's more. Jaguar suggests that Angie's passing was not only suspicious because of the timing, but also because of how the crash played out. Angie was the only victim.
What do they want?
What do you mean? They want their payment. They want their pound of flesh. They want you to keep feeding the system. Doesn't matter how hard she worked for it. That's not her money. That's their money. That's what they do. They've been robbing me for years.
Yep.
They stole more money from me than they stole from Angie. I can't stop thinking about Nick Carter. And Aaron Carter. I can't stop thinking. Brother in the Illuminati, brother not in the Illuminati. Brother in the Illuminati commits all kinds of heinous crimes against women, and he's okay, but his brother's gone. And all he wanted was his money so he could push on. Like, how many of these things have to happen in front of the public? Of course they're going to attack, I'll be sure. Of course they're going to attack me. Of course they're going to attack anybody who's interested in the truth. Of course they're going to come at us really hard for that first 72 hours and make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live, so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watched Angie Stone get moved around in real time on her son's.
With the industry already in turmoil over Angie's fight for her hard-earned money, some people are starting to wonder, was Angie's death orchestrated to stop her from exposing the truth? Could it have been more than just a tragic accident? The industry's as dark side. As much as we want to believe in the glitz and glamour of the music industry, Angie's story reveals something much darker. For years, artists have been exploited, taken advantage of, and left to fight for what was rightfully theirs. Angie Stone's story isn't a one-off. It's part of a much larger, more dangerous pattern. The industry is notorious for swallowing up those who dare to challenge it. Labels and managers make billions off the hard work of artists, while the creators are left with scraps. Angie's struggle against Universal Music, for example, is just one instance of the industry's blatant disregard for its talent. The question isn't whether Angie was wronged, it's how many more have been silenced in similar ways. For every artist that fights back, how many more are forced into silence, either through contracts, manipulation, or even worse? Angie was just one voice that dared to speak out. But when that voice is silenced, by accident or by design, the industry moves on, and no one dares to ask the tough questions. Unanswered questions and speculation. So, was Angie's death just an unfortunate accident, Or was there something more to it? Some are even speculating that Angie may have been gone before the crash even happened. Could it be that her passing wasn't about an accident at all, but a preemptive strike by those who wanted to keep her quiet? After all, she had just gone public with her accusations of stolen royalties and was planning legal action against the very people who had been siphoning off her earnings for years. Was that enough to seal her fate? Jaguar Wright's claims only add fuel to the fire, raising more questions than answers. Could this be another instance of the powerful elite silencing someone who dared to challenge them? Or was Angie simply another casualty of the dark side of fame? Conclusion? So where does that leave us? Was Angie Stone the victim of an industry that devours those who speak out, or was her death just another tragic accident? It's a story that leaves us questioning everything we know about the music industry and the lengths people will go to protect their secrets. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know if you believe Angie's passing was more than just an accident. And stay tuned for the next video, where we dive deeper into the industry's secrets that are still hidden from the public eye.